Hello and welcome to a 1v1 cast on Calderis Refinery. Starting off on the right hand side we have Edtjuh playing as the Chaos Lord, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, and on the other side of the map we have DarkHero playing as the Lictor Alpha, currently in mid, capping that mid VP, going to go in very aggressively here. Both players going for standard builds for now, at the very least. Lictor Alpha may even consider getting a third set of Termagants, may even consider a second set of Homagants to actually go as to fill out the bulk of his army, given that Lictor Alpha himself isn't very tanky. Could see some Warriors, could see some Raveners, most likely seeing one of them at the very least come into tier 2. The Havocs might not be a purchase here, given that it's going to be Lictor Alpha on the field once he actually sees this Lictor Alpha here, but already some engagement going to go down here between some Heretics and Termagants. Heretics going to be running in here, Termagants running in a little bit aggressively, but some Homagants are on the way. Meanwhile, on the other hand side, Termagants are going to be coming in, but going to be losing engagement. CSM and Chaos Lord can both force melee onto these Termagants, kill the weak, actually getting used for the knockback there. Meanwhile, on that other side, the Heretics going to get forced off in the end as the Homagants do come in, and the Homagants going to be a bit too much. The DarkHero is still in a slight VP lead right now, going to be bleeding those VPs up, and Edtjuh is making his way towards mid to actually get a decap on that. You could see come tier 2 on the Chaos Lord in particular, get the Armor of the Inferno, very effective against all these Homagants and Termagants. A second set of Homagants has even been purchased as well, and the Flesher going down onto the CSM squad, going to be pulling a member in, but the Lictor Alpha not actually decided to engage there, decides to wait for these Homagants to actually come in towards mid. Chaos Lord's Kill the Weak is still on cooldown, I believe, but the Homagant's going to be retreating away instead, and at the same time Power is going to get bashed here. The initial squad of Homagants going to be bashing that Power node. Heretics are making their way in, Lictor Alpha, Termagants coming in, no force some backup, and the Heretics going to be forced to not engage with the Lictor Alpha in the area. Termagants going to be weakening down these Heretics in range combat, allowing the Homagants to have a much easier fight. Homagants do win one-on-one against Heretics anyway, and will have an easier time as they were brought down to just a 2/3 health. Havoc's getting purchased though here for Edtjuh. Quite surprised that he's actually gone for Havoc's, given that there's the Lictor Alpha on the field. Can be very annoying to actually keep your Havoc set up, given that the Lictor can always pull them in with that flesh hook, but the Feeder Tendril was already purchased onto the Lictor Alpha, giving him power melee damage, very effective against heavy infantry. In fact, it is 63.75 power melee, so let's say it's 64 power melee damage. And he's actually attacking the generator right now instead of the CSM squad. The generators take quite some damage there from just the Lictor Alpha alone, but if he was focusing the CSM squad, Ed model would have definitely been taken. A Havoc model has already been taken from the Lictor Alpha himself. He should be able to get a CSM model, could even go for a second one here if the CSM aren't retreating away in time. Decides to Flesh Hook, but Flesh Hook's the wrong model. He Flesh Hooked one that he was not attacking earlier. Now the Chaos Lord unable to actually fight the Lictor Alpha, since the Feeder Tendrils do give heal on hit. I believe it gives him back a certain amount of health back on hit. 1.5% of maximum health is regened, making the Lictor Alpha even more effective come level up will come when he gets extra armor. If the extra armor gives him extra health, then he'll be able to heal even more power attack with those Feeder Tendrils. But the Lictor Alpha very low here, 2 energy left, is going to run out here, and he's only on 150 HP. I don't think he's going to be able to regen enough to actually fight all this melee in the area, and Lictor Alpha getting surrounded now by Heretics. He is definitely going to go down, trying to stay in this fight as long as possible. The Chaos Lord with the Kill the Weak is going to actually finish him off, and if it didn't finish him off, it would have knocked him down on his feet, and he would have been unable to actually do anything about it. And Warriors now purchased here for DarkHero. Warriors going to be the purchase, as Lictor Alpha can be the one to actually interrupt those Havocs, and at the same time the Lictor Alpha doesn't provide any synapse bonuses whatsoever, so you need those Warriors to actually give those Termagants and Homagants that extra bit of synapse, that basic synapse come tier 1, and in tier 2 the adrenal glands, the improved synapse. The Havoc's going to get wiped here. Warriors able to get the final hit onto that Havoc squad. Chaos Lord now going to be left alone fighting here. Does take down a Warrior model, and you see the Synapse Bomb going after Chaos Lord with power melee, going to be slightly more effective fighting those Warriors compared to fighting those Homagants. Kill the Weak does go off, catching a few models, bringing the Chaos Lord back up to full HP. But DarkHero going to get forced off in the end, but the map is looking extremely red right now as Homagants are capping, Termagants are also capping at the same time. And Edtjuh, only in control of the 2 VPs, along with this power node, just had his requisition points decapped, one even captured as well in favour of DarkHero. So Lictor Alpha, all with these extra requisition points in favour of DarkHero, should have enough requisition to buy back his Lictor Alpha without losing too much requisition against Edtjuh. 307 requisition income for DarkHero against 221 for Edtjuh. Homagants going to be back in the way there before they lose any models. Heretics actually going in for, or going to ignore these Homagants here. No point in trying to bleed a couple of models when you can try and regain the map a little bit quicker. Termagants already arming themselves with the Toxin Sacs upgrade. Going to be able to use the Crippling Poison ability to actually slow down Chaos Lord, or slow down any units for that matter, by 90%, I believe it is, for a few seconds. Doesn't actually say it on the description, but it slows them down to almost nothing and makes it very difficult to actually move. Warriors coming into the area as well, the double Termagants still both upgraded now, in fact, not just a single squad. You can see the Crippling Poison used now, the Chaos Lord slowed down to nothing. A second Crippling Poison is used, Chaos Lord unable to actually do anything about it. It is going to back away. Some Termagants have been sent to actually go and bash the power at the same time. Termagants may even join them, but at the same time Edtjuh has got all his forces on that right hand side, could try and make a push of his own, does actually have some detection with the Aspiring Champion on his Heretics, meaning that Lictor Alpha will have a slightly harder time to actually interrupt these Havocs. We'll need to use the Flesh Hook to actually interrupt the leader model there. Homagant's going to go in for the cap here, but deciding to back away. Here's a CSM and Havoc's going to be setting up in the area, and the Homagants, they're getting suppressed as well. A second Aspiring Champion has been purchased on the Heretic squad. Some more Heretics coming in from behind here. Warriors in the area, Lictor Alpha in the area, but the Homagants deciding to back away. The Lictor Alpha now getting a little bit surrounded. The Warriors deciding not to join in that fight, but the Heretics deciding to back away at the same time. And Homagant's even going to go in for a power decap against Edtjuh. Heretics though going to continue running away, taking some lead there from that Lictor Alpha. Termagant's going to go in for both requisition points, both decaps once again. Chaos very reliant on requisition, very annoying to have your requisition points at decaps like that. Warriors going to be set up in mid to try to cap that VP. Havocs are firing away at these Homagants, and the kill the weak going to prevent DarkHero from actually getting a capture onto that power point. Another Homagants forced to retreat through the Havocs, point blank fire, but able to get away at just 9 HP. And Termagants even trying to force melee here, but the Termagants themselves are very low. Meanwhile, in mid, Heretics going to be fighting the Warriors. Warriors still trying to cap that VP instead, but Homagants going to be joining that fight. Lictor Alpha tying up that CSM squad. The Lictor Alpha himself though very low at 147 HP, so that could be a little bit of a close fight, but the CSM squad going to be forced to back away in the end. Meanwhile, the Chaos Lord pushing in here. An Aspiring Champion Heretic squad is going to go down here, getting chewed up there by the Homagants and Warriors. Not a single Warrior model died, so there was no Synapse knockback for these Homagants, so the Heretics were unfortunate there. Chaos Lord going to be hitting a special there, but not actually hitting anything with that special, and the requisition points remain decapped here for Edtjuh. Very low on economy right now, especially not even having his own generator farms. There still remains decapped. Havoc's getting chased by that Lictor Alpha as well, who's now at level 3. Chaos Lord also at level 3 at the same time. But both players are going to be taken up to tier 2. Edtjuh slightly behind, did spend quite a lot of power on those double Aspiring Champion Heretics and double Havocs at the same time. Lictor Alpha going to get forced off in the end though, very low. It is going to actually go down to the range fire. It's going to be a bit too much, and that's going to be the second time that Lictor Alpha has gone down here for DarkHero. Homagants making their way to win. Homagants also coming in for a bit of support. Warriors remaining in base, and Homagants going to actually get a capture onto Edtjuh's natural requisition point. Chaos Lord is also capping at the same time. The Aspiring Champion Heretics making their way towards those Homagants. These Homagants currently unupgraded. Could always get the... I forgot what the upgrade's called now. Could always get the Adrenal Glands upgrade, sorry, and actually get extra health and extra leap range, I believe it also gives, among other things. And come tier 2, could see them upgrade to 10 models instead of 8, allowing them to reinforce 2 at a time. It's a very long upgrade. In fact, it takes about 40 to 50 seconds to actually finish the upgrade, meaning that you can't actually reinforce for the duration of that upgrade, so you do need to actually be careful when you choose to fight with it. But the Adrenal Glands onto the Warriors also purchased well. They now have heavy melee, also providing better synapse to these Termagants and Homagants as well. And can see that the Endless Swarm upgrades are getting purchased here, not for the Homagants though, but for the Termagants at the very least. They're both getting that upgrade, so they reinforce 2 at a time and have 2 extra models. In fact, the way it works is you actually have like a Termagant Sergeant. There's 2 models which cannot be killed until, or need to be killed at the very last unit, and if they go down you have to repurchase that upgrade. The Swarm are chasing these Heretics here. The Heretics are actually able to get away with 6 out of 9 models at 100 HP. Blood Sacrifice was also used as well, spawning a Bloodletter squad at the sacrifice of a Heretic model, but the Bloodletter is going to be forcing off DarkHero's majority of his army here. Only the Homagants remain on the field. Lictor Alpha has also been repurchased once again. And at the same time, some CSM going down that left hand side. A Blood Crusher is getting purchased, 417 VPs to 323. DarkHero is behind in VPs by nearly 100 right now. And the Homagants are grouping mid. Still no upgrades on either Homagant squad here. could see some upgrades come in later. In fact, there's going to be some more upgrades onto the Lictor Alpha. The Toxic Cysts upgrade does give a Poisonous Cloud ability surrounding the Lictor Alpha, very effective against heretics, and I believe it also gives him health regen as well. Let's have a look at the description. Also increasing Lictor Alpha's health regeneration by 10 seconds, also increases his health as well, and then it does that cloud around him, which is the Toxic Burst ability. Should give the Lictor Alpha a lot of tankiness in combat, especially with the Feeder Tendrils in combination of the extra health of this armor, along with the 10 health regen when using the Toxic Burst ability. The Lictor Alpha going to be engaging here. Some Havocs and Heretics going to move the camera because it's a bit of an awkward spot. One Havoc model is going to go down, a second one could go down. It's so low right now, but the Lictor Alpha landing special after special. He is level 4, does have a higher melee skill compared to that aspiring champion Heretic squad, over the Heretics themselves to actually have high melee skill at 75. But the Lictor Alpha getting very low. The Blood Crusher is now out on the field, going to try and chase down that Lictor Alpha, going to even charge in here, but it's actually going to miss. Not going to actually catch out the Lictor Alpha. The Warriors also getting knocked back. Oh, the Blood Crusher, the Chaos Lord trying to come in at the same time, getting forced off though by those Termagants, and the heavy melee on these Warriors going to be fighting the Blood Crusher. Blood Crusher without melee resistance, Warriors with melee resistance, going to be enough to actually survive against that Blood Crusher, and it's going to get forced away. Homagons even trying to chase as well. Regular melee only doing 10% of its damage. 2 vehicles going to be struggling there, and the Bloodletter squad is going to be coming out as well for Edtjuh, which is going to be extremely effective at trying to bleed those warrior models. 190 power melee damage from a Bloodletter squad. 180, sorry, not 190, should be fairly effective at trying to get those warrior synapse models to go, and the Bloodlust is going to be phase or warping in here, going to be fighting those warriors. Homagons are trying to get a surround on them, but the Bloodlust should be able to get at least a single warrior model, but the warrior is actually going to get away there at 240 HP on full models. The Blood Crusher is free to do what it wants. There's no AV whatsoever here for DarkHero. The Venom Brood though is coming in now, and the Bloodlust should tie up that Venom Brood when they get a chance. Those Homagons getting it very low, but not actually going to get wiped as well, and the Blood Crusher is going to remain fairly safe. The Corn Worship though is not in range of either the Bloodletters or the Blood Crusher itself. Bloodletters remaining on 4 models, and the Worship really needs to move up a little bit just to actually get the healing on those Bloodletters. Meanwhile, the Lictor Alpha being very annoying on that right hand side, going for a decap onto the requisition here, and probably going to move on to the second requisition point if it gets a chance. And DarkHero also going to be taking up to tier 3 as well. Chaos Lord is getting the Blood Maul upgrade as well, allowing him to have 100 melee DPS, and at the same time allowing him to knock back all the units by quite a range, quite some distance. It's very similar to how Kill the Weak works in the sense where it knocks back all nearby units, except for when this Blood Maul actually knocks back units, it knocks them back extremely far. Also does a bit more damage, I believe, but at the cost of losing your secondary weapon, or your sidearm rather, which is your Storm Bolter. Bloodletters getting Worship though, back up to full health. Lictor Alpha is in the air, again detected by that aspiring champion. They're going to try and flesh hook the Havoc squad there to actually unset him up. But some Mark of Khorne CSM going to be coming in, going to go for those Warrior Brood. Warriors are not on the field, sorry, it's the Venom Brood getting tied up by those Mark of Khorne CSM, Bloodletters and fighting Homagons here. The Blood Crusher also jumping into that fight. The Venom Brood is now getting its 3 shots onto that Blood Crusher. The Lictor Alpha coming in once again. These double Homagons trying to fight these Mark of Khorne CSM. You can actually see Bloodlust is also getting used here as well on these Mark of Khorne CSM. You can see that red buff. Bloodlust is getting very low right now. The Bloodlust is actually going to get away there. The Blood Crusher charges in to prevent the Lictor Alpha from getting the final hit. That would have killed that Bloodlust squad. The Mark of Khorne CSM still remaining in this fight though, landing specials. Blood Crusher landing specials as well. Nothing to actually finish off that Blood Crusher. Warrior Brood still not in its engagement though, but the Venom Brood rejoining once again. Those Termagants getting so low might actually die to Plasma Pistol fire. And it looks like a Spore Mine is going to get called in, or it could be without number, given that DarkHero is now tier 3. It is going to be without number. You can see another set of Homagons, another set of Termagants out on the field. That Blood Crusher is going to go down. The Warrior is now in the engagement. Chaos Lord already using the Blood Maul's ability, going to be sat here alone. Does have Kill the Weak available, doesn't actually use Kill the Weak, and is going to take a loss of damage here on retreat. The Venom Brood now actually getting reinforced there by the looks of it from that without number. But 316 VPs to 310 VPs now neutral or neutralized between both players. Edtjuh is actually getting a second Blood Crusher out. I think he might cancel that, or I think he should maybe cancel it. I'm not too sure how well another Blood Crusher is going to survive with both Warriors and Venom Brood available for the next engagement. Market Corn CSM doing so much work in that engagement. Now level 4, they really stuck it in there for quite some time. Bloodless is back on the field. Now level 2, going to be warping in onto some warriors here. Do need to be careful as Homogons are in the area. The worship is coming in though, and those Bloodless is landing a special, helping them win that engagement there. And warriors are bound to lose a model here on retreat, surely. 578 or 486 now, was on 570 earlier, and DarkHero going in for the captures against the requisition points once again, bringing Edtjuh's economy just down to 200 requisition income compared to DarkHero, who's now just on 253. Capillary Tower is going to go down. We need to get those killed to actually prevent them from giving the Tyrannid army all the buffs that it does provide, such as extra movement speed and the extra vision it also gives, or a small amount of extra vision it gives anyway. But Havoc is going to be helping force off the Venom Brood. Market Corn CSM going to be remaining on that right hand side. Bloodless is moving towards mid. Chaos Lord also in the area. Still no Armored Inferno. I think Armored Inferno here would be really good, given that there are triple Termagants on the field, along with some Homogons as well. I think there's actually double Homogons on the field at the same time, and Neurophobe even coming out as well. There's only a single set of Homogons on the field, but I still think Armored Inferno would be a really good choice for the Chaos Lord to actually reduce the size of that blob. Havoc's going to be setting up point blank in front of the Capillary Tower. I think the Capillary Tower in its position where the Havocs are set up, I think it actually prevents the Havocs from firing, so the Havocs really need to start destroying this Capillary Tower before the engagement actually starts. And the Neurophobe now coming out onto the field here, looking like it wants to get some shots in. Going to be snaring a Bloodletter here, not really doing too much with that though. And now DarkHero is going to be coming in for a big push. Havoc's now unset up by the Lictor Alpha. They were unset up before anyway, but that lead model game pulled in means that they can't actually set up properly. Heretics are going to be worshipping here, and Bloodless is not actually engaging right now. Bloodless is now losing their worship support as those Heretics got a little bit too low. The Market Corn CSM now getting forced off of the Bloodless remaining on the field, going to go and focus down that Neurophobe there, landing a special against the Neurophobe. That Neurophobe is most likely going to go down. It's not going to retreat out in time. So much power melee damage from those Bloodlesses there. 180 per squad, and now all the Termagants are going to be backing away. A set of Termagants and Homogons do remain on the field, but I don't think they can hold by themselves. Bloodlesses now without any worship support whatsoever. Do need to be a little bit careful here. The Warriors have also backed away here as well, and now everything is going to be retreating here for DarkHero. The Bloodlesses trying to get a little bit of a chase on in the end here. These level 2 Bloodlesses in need of some worship to bring themselves back up to full HP. Heretics on that left hand side being very annoying, just capping while that engagement was going on. The aspiring champion Heretics making their way back towards mid so they can actually worship those Bloodlesses back up. And Edtjuh also tier 3 now after that engagement. Could call in some Terminators, although Terminators might not work out too well, given that DarkHero is most likely going to be going for a Khan effects later on. The Terminators are effective against everything that DarkHero currently has, but if a Carnifex comes out in the field and sees Terminators, it can just upgrade to a Fawnback Carnifex, making it so that the Terminators will not be very effective. A Predator could be the choice here as well, or if you really want to wait out, maybe get a Land Raider Phobos or Grayson Clean one. But these Homogons and Termagants getting caught out there. The Demon Maw going to be knocking back those Homogons into the army there, going to get caught out even further, and there's going to be a dead set of Homogons, leaving DarkHero to just a triple Termagants and no other Gaunts other than that. But at the same time, a Power Bash could be going down here. Venom Brood, Termagants and Warriors should be able to make short work of this farm. A Chaos Predator is also getting built at the same time. Lictor Alpha now with the Menacing Visage can force a squad to retreat at will. And at the same time, Edtjuh even going in for a Power Bash of his own. The Market Corn CSM, Bloodletters and Chaos Lord going to be meleeing down this Generator farm, also capping the contested power on that side, just like these Warriors should be doing over here as well. Termagants making their way towards mid to actually get a capture in mid, and DarkHero lacking the requisition right now to actually get a Carnifex out. Needs another 300 requisition in order to actually do so. Meanwhile, the Chaos Predator now coming out of the base could be upgraded to a Market Corn to make it more effective against infantry. The side bolt is getting a damage boost as well as the main cannon at the same time. I think the main cannon gets a 25% damage boost. Meanwhile, the hit bolters on either side of the Predator get a 75% damage boost from that Market Corn upgrade, and should be extremely effective here against DarkHero's army composition. Even if a Carnifex comes out on the field, the Market Corn upgrade will still be decent. Not as good as the Mark of Tzeentch upgrade, but will still be very good nonetheless as a source of AV, and Havocs are still available as well and can always be upgraded to Mark of Tzeentch as well if a Thornback Carnifex comes out on the field later on. But Bloodlet's is going to be engaging here. The Market Corn CSM getting slowed by the Toxin Sacks. The Predator is now spotted, now out on the field, driving in very aggressively. These Termagants getting very caught out though. Market Corn CSM on the retreat path could actually finish off these Termagants, in fact, along with the Predator's range damage, and that's going to be another squad down here for DarkHero. 166 VPs to 268. Edtjuh behind on VPs by 100. Was ahead earlier, but now behind. DarkHero ahead in VPs, but behind in terms of army. 85 population for Chaos, 46 for Tyranids. But DarkHero getting very close to actually being able to afford that Carnifex. Should be starting to build as soon as possible. And now the Armor Ready Inferno is getting purchased here, but given that most of the Termagon squads have actually gone down at this point, it's not as worth it. Flesh Hook has already been used by that Lictor Alpha, so that Heretic squad will be able to get away there. Lictor Alpha is going to be retreating away as Predator does come in for some support, but doing a lot of damage though to that Heretic squad. Now level 6, the Lictor Alpha, and Chaos Lord himself as well, level 6 at the same time. Some Bloodless is going to be reclaiming that natural VP as well, and going to be reclaiming this requisition points, I would imagine. At the same time, the Carnifex is starting to get built as well. Chaos Lord a little bit low on health right now. Build the Armory Inferno should be very effective in the next fight to just knock units down on their feet. Predator landing a direct hit onto the Venom Broom, forced them off straight away there. Doing a lot of damage with that main cannon. Warriors as well getting to reclaim that natural power. Termagants also getting caught out here a little bit. The Predator's going to try and chase them down. Meanwhile, the mass melee army here of Edtjuh is going to be on the retreat path of these Termagants should they get forced to retreat, especially this squad as well, who's taking a lot of damage. And now this could be another dead squad here. Doom Blast also used, but Doom Blast not doing as much damage to Termagants. Getting a little bit caught there in a bit of a weird retreat path. And now the second squad, the Menacing Visage, they used to actually force off that Marking Corner CSM squad. And it looks like Toxic Cyst as well going down, giving that Lictor Alpha an extra 10 HP regeneration per second, but getting knocked away there and also stunned at the same time is actually going to be forcing him off, since he can't actually attack or heal while this is going on. But now the Carnifex is coming out of the field, is upgraded to a Thornback Carnifex. Rippers getting spawned as well here. Rippers need to start focusing down that Predator to actually slow it down to nothing. Carnifex is going to start making its way down and start attacking some Bloodletters here, doing a lot of damage here. Venom Brood is going to get forced off. That Chaos Lord is very low, most likely going to go down here in this engagement. Rippers focusing down those Bloodletters as well. The Warriors also attacking them, with the Bloodletters now entering phase shift mode, going to become invulnerable. Havocs do remain set up throughout this engagement. The Thornback Carnifex should maybe start to focus down at this Predator instead. Rippers need to also start focusing down that Predator as well. The Bloodletters are actually going to force off those Warriors, and Rippers are going to make their way over to the Havocs instead, going to force them off. And the Lictor Alpha going to Flesh Hook some Bloodletters here. I think the Lictor Alpha should have maybe waited before using that Flesh Hook until the Bloodletters started to retreat away, just to see if you could bait the Bloodletters into staying to the fight a little bit longer, and then trying to actually wipe the squad overall, because since they are level 3, really do want to try and wipe them. Termagants and Homagants on the retreat path here. The Market Horn CSM coming back out of base after they are forced off by the Menacing Visage and the Lictor Alpha now. Homagants going to try and finish off that Bloodletter squad on retreat, but they're going to get away with 150 HP here. Now the Termagants are going to get forced off here. Carnifex coming in to try and melee down that Predator, but the Predator not getting slowed down by anything whatsoever. Need Rippers to actually slow down vehicles. That is the only slow that Tyranids actually have against vehicles now, I believe, since the Zoanthrope Snare was removed. But the Carnifex very tanky, 1650 health at full health, going to make it very difficult for the Predator to actually kill quickly. Venom Brood also in the area as well to actually take care of the Predator, which is now down to just a 311 HP. The Chaos Predator, not having the improved armor plating like the Space Marine Predator, is stuck with that 700 HP until it can actually level up. But the Havoc's going to be upgraded to the Mark of Tzeentch upgrade now, so you can actually slow down that Thornback Carnifex. Otherwise it'll be very difficult to control with just a Predator alone, plus the Mark of Tzeentch Havoc's doing a lot of damage. The Predator going in a little bit aggressively here. Venom Brood are in the area. Venom Brood actually chase it down. It might be able to do enough damage to finish off, but the Imperial Abyss is going to go down. Venom Brood are not moving whatsoever. They retreat through it. You do not want to retreat through an Imperial Abyss. retreating through an Imperial Abyss means that Imperial Abyss does even more damage, since it is heavy melee damage that the Imperial Abyss does doing extra damage to retreating units. Ripper's going to be interrupting those Mark of Tzeentch CSM, Mark of Tzeentch Havocs, very nice use of it. Mark of Khorne Havocs, Mark of Khorne CSM, sorry, going to be focusing on those warriors to get the Synapse bombs off, and the warriors going to be retreating away. Havocs nearly gain themselves killed here by remaining in the fight too long. Carnifex going to be able to do away once Bloodlust used once again on these Mark of Khorne CSM here, and Homogons are trying to chase them down. Carnifex should be able to take down a model or two here on retreat. The Mark of Khorne CSM are very low, accidentally clicking on Capillary Tower there, and all the models have gone down. The Aspiring Champion even going down as well, and now it's just one unit left. 26 VPs now for Edtjuh. Things are getting a little bit close. That Carnifex remains on the field. Now the Predator has gone down as well in that engagement. Lictor Alpha going to be fighting some Bloodletters here, even actually healing, even though the Bloodletters are in phase shift mode. But the Carnifex going to be charging in once again. These Mark of Tzeentch Havocs going in a little bit too close. Bloodletters could try and fight down this Carnifex, but the Carnifex is a little bit too healthy. The Havoc setting up way too close, needs to move out of range. The Havocs might even go down here. Carnifex now going to be making his way and start working down these Heretics, doing splash damage with each strike here, and those Heretics are most likely going to go down. One more hit should do it, and the Carnifex is going to eat that Heretic squad and bury him into the ground. Warriors going to be fighting some Bloodletters here. The Bloodletters without any worship whatsoever. All the Heretics have gone down. Heretics are getting repurchased, but the Bloodletters landing specials against Warriors. The Bloodletters do actually have a level advantage, so they're most likely to land specials against those Warriors, and entering phase shift once again here. Going to be very annoying in this area. The Carnifex in need to actually go back to base to actually heal up. 26 VPs to 189 here. A Lictor Alpha, or sorry, not Lictor Alpha, a Lictor has been purchased, a tier 3 Lictor by DarkHero, and the Bloodlust going to stop those Termagants from actually getting a capture in mid, leaving the VPs to 1-1, giving time for these Mark of Tzeentch Havocs to come back in mid to prevent that Carnifex from actually coming back mid as well. Homogons and Termagants coming into the area. These Bloodlust is going to go back to base. They are level 4, or they should go back to base, or should get some worship very desperately right now. A fresh set of Bloodlust are even getting purchased here as well. The Lictor is going to be jumping in the Mark of Khorne CSM without an Aspiring Champion, only on 2 models as well. Going to be jumping into the engagement as well. The level 4 Bloodlust is coming in just on 2 models though. Mark of Tzeentch Havoc is going to get forced off. A Tyrannid formation is going to go down. DarkHero retreats everything. A Bloodletter squad that just went down. Those were the level 4 Bloodletters as well. Quite a big loss there for Edtjuh. Level 4 Bloodletters really do so much better compared to level 1 Bloodletters. The extra health and extra energy really does come in handy, since they do actually have 2 abilities. Mark of Tzeentch Havoc is going to be setting up only on 1 model now. Heretics in mid as well, only on 4 out of 8 models. DarkHero with that Carnifex could come in with the next engagement. If it doesn't get forced off by the Havocs, will be able to win the next engagement and be able to win the game, given how low the VPs are for Edtjuh. But if this Carnifex is forced off, the Bloodlust, Mark of Khorne CSM mini melee army here should be enough to actually fight DarkHero. Warriors still level 3 here. The Mark of Khorne CSM are in the area, but in need of some extra models. Heretics going to be engaging here. Rippers are back on the field once again. Those Rippers going to be able to eat those Heretics up if they don't actually get any support. The Bloodlust is going to be going in and phase shifting. Lictor is going to be jumping in here, knocking back some friendly units. Going to be going after those Bloodletters who are still phase shifted right now. Heretics not able to actually worship. They worship right now. They're going to get caught out by those Warriors. Doom Blast does go off. The Warriors also jump into melee combat here against these Mark of Khorne CSM, who are down to just 2 models, but these Mark of Khorne CSM are level 4, do have the level advantage, so you do see more specials from them. Bloodlust is down to just 2 out of 4 models. Chaos Lord is still dead. Mark of Khorne CSM going to get forced off. The Mark of Tzeentch Havoc's getting pulled into a Capillary Tower there by that Lictor, and Heretics also going to be going down here. Lictor looks like he'll be able to finish off the Bloodletter squad, and Edtjuh calls GG here, and that's going to be game.